to memorize the three category as like this. Okay, done.
So yeah, you have to memorize these three categories of themes. And brother, the most important portion where the objections are quite serious. Serious not in the sense that we will not succeed. Inshallah, we will satisfy them. But in the meeting, they will mostly emphasize on our methodology. They will
Yes, and
not,
finding.
yeah, and findings. They will not pay so much attention to the literature and so much attention to our,
Introduction. Yes.
introduction, etc. So I will prefer, mashallah, you have a better understanding than I was expecting, mashallah. And you have to what let me give you the notes. First of all, our study, it's qualitative. Then study type is cross section. This is like a tree. And after cross section, we go for our method was interview, and our analysis of that method was we did analysis of themes generation, how themes were generated by transcribing. After transcription, three broad categories were, I will send you the picture of this page, developed. Then after the development, then findings and relevance to the previous literature and TURE. And then our
Do you,
recommendation. Yes, yes, please.
do you think they will ask about the literature review or
To me,
no? In the meeting, do you think they will ask about the literature review or no?
I
Or
think
they
this,
will
hmm, in this
they just
meeting,
want? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I think in this meeting, they would have made up their mind, and they will mostly focus on those two concerns, especially the concerns of those two professors.
Yes.
And that was primarily focused on the methodology and the work of, they were actually confused about the work of the student and the work of the volunteer, basically. So
Okay.
when you will explain them the whole process by yourself, inshallah their concern will be addressed, I think. And as far as the volunteer is concerned, inshallah I'll be there. And if they ask me my criteria why or how I fit to be a good volunteer, so inshallah I'll satisfy them about my publications. I can refer to them, and I can tell them about my academics. So they will say, okay, this person is a good volunteer. Even though we are not living in the same place, but we can interact virtually, just like they will be interacting with us. So inshallah the issue of volunteer will be resolved. But I want you to speak more. Let me send you a picture of this. uh,
Yeah, you can send it by WhatsApp.
yes, yes, yes. अब्बू जी मोबाइल दीजिएगा अपनी, just a minute. Actually, this small table will help you to remember this. Okay, this is. Inshallah, we will go to methodology section also, and in the next meeting also, we will explore our methodology. And
Yeah.
as far as the issue of plagiarism is concerned, I am working on that also. And inshallah, I hope they will give us an opportunity to send them another draft or a more revised draft if they say. And inshallah, there they will not be having that problem of acknowledging the previous researcher.
Yeah, actually, they have 3 points.
Hmm.
Their email, the 11% plagiarism
Hmm.
from the finding and methodology, and the one who's talk about the expert. He
Hmm.
said, "Who's the expert? What they are doing?"
Hmm. Hmm.
There
Hmm.
is there is a point they mentioned in the first, which is the massive word amount of word. Actually, it's a mistake by the professor because I know the professor thought that this thesis is supposed to be 15,000 word, but in the
Ah,
document which is I have, it is 17, and we
exactly.
are in the safe side, and we have to clear this one.
Hmm. Exactly.
After the
Exactly.
after Yeah, after the meeting finished, they will send us the point that we are write it down, and we should write a very generous word to explain our side.
Inshallah, brother. Inshallah, I'm quite hopeful. Inshallah, for the good
Allah
news.
Kareem. Allah Kareem, inshallah.
Okay, brother.
So, yeah.
Mhm. Let me ask you a few more questions. And okay, brother, you are talking about the responses, the difference of responses between the difference of responses in from your respondent side. So you also told me about the limitation. The most important limit, you told me limitation in a good way, but academically you have to, first point you have to tell them that in case of limitation, that my study is a cross sectional study. Cross sectional, it's qualitative, but the type of study is cross sectional. This is the biggest limitation. Almost all the academic studies are cross-sectional. And I have told you the definition of this cross-section study. Time limitation, cost limitations are the two main factors. That's why we employ cross-section study. And we collect data only at one point of time. Then we talk about the population, we talk about the sample, we talk about our method of uh, method to investigate our respondent. The method was interviews. Then about the analysis, how did we?
Actually, it was interview and questionnaire at the same.
Yes, interview and a question at the same time. Yeah, but primarily focus was on interviews because our major themes were developed on the basis of the interviews, and an introduction and the history and the main information was taken through the questions also, questionnaire also. And after interviews we uh, transcribe the interview in detail, and you can also say the volunteer was also there in helping me to transcribe, like you can refer them to me. uh, and we transcribed it. We read all the answers 2 3 4 times, and by consensus between you and me, we reached on few themes, and finally we combined all of the themes into three broad categories, and then we reported these three broad categories. So this was a process of transcribing the interview into themes, and themes are there in our thesis, and we will also explain them. Then we talked about the limitations. Limitations you have fair enough. You have explained them fair enough. And then there are future recommendation. If I ask you, brother Knife, what are the recommendation? Or I ask you why your study is helpful for the policy makers. Yeah, who can get benefit out of your study? So this all means your recommendation. So will you tell me to whom your study is important, or why your study is important for the people like me or the others, or what is the importance of your study in future, or what are the recommendations if I simply ask you?
Okay. Um, our recommendation is for the policies maker, um, is to make sure they have um, they have they have the employee sector in
Hmm.
their view during they are planning on the for the project. I
Hmm.
mean,
Hmm.
it will be it will be affect the business if the employee is get affected.
Hmm.
And when I say affected, it doesn't mean by negative side. It
Hmm.
might by the positive side.
Hmm.
If they are in the positive side, they will be happy, and they will the income from that business it will be increased.
Exactly.
It's also the same. It's not the same. It's the opposite way if it's not.
Okay, good. Exactly. Exactly. This is good. Okay, these would be the recommendation. And now, if you wish, we can go to the analysis section. If you wish, we can go to and we can read that as well in
Yes.
today. Okay, let me.
Today or tomorrow, do you like?
If you are willing, we can do it today also, and we will repeat it tomorrow. No
Actually,
problem.
actually, I have the willing, but because your health condition, I think it will be so difficult. I don't
Uh,
want to push you, يعني, too much.
okay, then at least let's take a start so that we will have in our mind that we have started it and
Okay,
we have to
okay.
finish.
Do you want to start with the analysis or the methodology?
In methodology, sorry, not
Yeah,
analysis.
yeah, yeah. Also
Yeah,
it's not that big. Okay,
yeah, I'm
okay. Go
talking
ahead.
about chapter number three, brother.
Yep.
Let me share you the screen first. Uh, screen. Mm, yes,
Brother,
yes.
are you full time student or
Yeah, I'm now I am not a full-time student, but because my coursework is completed and my thesis is in progress. So now I go to
uh-huh,
university. Yeah, very rarely, I contact the supervisor and then go to university.
early every day or
Not every
weekly?
day, like once in a 2 weeks or
No.
once in a 3 weeks. Yeah, because at this stage we can manage, but initially we used to contact each other after 2 or 3 days, but now 10, 15 days, after 10 to 15 days. And mashallah, we have almost a week, 5 days, and I hope you will read all the literature also. And it's better to read the literature, but the more emphasis will be on the methodology. Mm, yeah, chapter number three.
Oh yeah, hold on, hold on. Up.
Yes, here we are. Okay, brother, should I read it or you will read?
I will read because you are a little bit
Okay.
under other. Okay. Introduction. The
Hmm.
chapter defined the concepts that were applied during the collect data analysis stage of the present study.
Okay.
Research is this is research methods and the critical
Hmm.
examination of a
Hmm.
subject experiment, discover information, analysis and defining an empirical study that conclusion drawing the research involved based on the evidence gathering from data collecting from
Hmm.
a real life experiment and observations.
Hmm.
Research or deliberity a research methodology is defined as this is I think this is one is
Yes,
important.
yes, yes, yes.
It's
This.
defined as strategy that investigate employ to accomplish the object established from the study and are their foundation. I have a question, brother.
Hmm.
If they ask me about what is the research methodology defined, like if they said, tell me about the research, it's supposed to يعني, say like this, or I can express in my word.
No, no worries. You can express in your words also. It is not necessary you tell them the definition as per the book. And they,
Mhm.
yeah, they are not actually, you know, uh, you can say expecting everything like this. They will, you can tell them in your own words. Like research methodology, if you talk about me, I will say research methodology, this is a process in order to accomplish or in order to answer the research questions. This is
Yes.
also a research methodology is a process through which researcher follows certain steps and adopts certain method in order to achieve his objective of research. So you can
Mhm.
tell them in your own words, and even it's better to tell in your own words.
تمام تمام.
Yeah.
Um, shall we go to the research design?
Yes. Yes.
Determine how information unfold, the information is investigating or specific. It's prepared, identify the method, used collection.
Hmm, hmm.
Mm, yeah. Quantitative research can be defined as process measure quantity and quality of data.
Yeah, it's defining both, differencing the both quantitative and qualitative. But
How you could yeah how you could define the qualitative uh, research in your world?
qualitative research basically it says there are two types of researches, not qualitative and quantitative. If
Yes.
we talk about quantitative research, there things are actually measured in numbers. Subjectivity is normally missing in quantitative research. But
Uh-huh.
qualitative research, if we talk about then we investigate a phenomena in a qualitative way, like subjective through subjective approach, like through interviews, through observation, through focus group, through case studies. So these are the
Mhm.
methodologies. That's why I was telling that the case study in qualitative research method, our research design was to study a case. So that was, uh,
Yes.
eh, hmm.
Yes.
And what we employed, what technique we applied in that case study was the interview. So qualitative studies, perceptions of people are gauged in a qualitative way or in a subjective way, not in numerical forms.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So these are a bit differences between qualitative and quantitative. Like different tables, different types of graphs, or different statistical equations. These are not present in qualitative. But what is present, like themes, and these analyses are present, which are subjective in nature. Researcher collects the interviews and makes theme according to his or her own subjective knowledge. So that's why it's qualitative, missing the numerical information.
Okay.
Yes. So if you go
Okay.
down, yeah, then
Could
it
we go
talks.
to the
Uh-huh.
the present study was conducted at the NWC in KSA
Hmm.
because
Uh-huh.
its employees were facing the impact of privatizations.
Yeah.
This is the answer of the previous question that you had asked me.
Exactly. Exactly.
The
Exactly.
change involved including moving to the new different organization framework and structure,
Uh-huh.
and minimize of staff, change level, job status, change. Yeah, this is the all lecture review we have already
Yes.
mentioned that
Yeah, we have
the
actually
study
touched them
employee.
in the abstract. We have, mashallah, touched these things shortly in the abstract section also.
Yeah, this study employee interview and several relevant themes were identified for reporting purpose. Could you explain this one for me, please, brother?
Yeah, which line you are just saying?
Um, in page 31, the
Uh-huh.
fourth from down.
Fourth from down, okay, page number 31. Like this qualitative method demand that this one,
No, no, no.
this is the last passage of 31, na?
31, yeah. Go down, please.
Go down here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This one.
Yeah.
It's different in yours.
From here, should I study from here? Should I read?
Um, the change, the change in the
Okay.
second.
The change involved from here.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. It says the changes involved included moving from a new and different organizational framework and structure, the downsizing of staff, changes in level of job satisfaction, and reduction in job facilities. It says that the changes involved, changes mean what were the changes happened before and after, what changes were happened. It says those changes involved include moving to a new and different organizational framework, different from the previous one. After privatization, organizational framework, its structure was changed,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
and
I get it.
yeah, are you getting na? And staff
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes downsizing, and therefore satisfaction level was also reduced, reduction in
So,
job facilities. These are actually
yeah.
the changes because of
Yeah.
privatization. Yes.
So could you jump two line, and it will be this study employee interview
Uh-huh. Yes, this study
and
employed interviews, yes,
several relevant themes were identified for reporting purpose.
exactly. These were identified by the researcher, by you, after
Uh-huh.
conducting the interviews. When
Uh-huh.
you conducted interviews and you thoroughly go through all the lines and all the answers, and then you identified few themes, but these are not yet final themes. These were some themes generated.
So do we mean by in these themes
Yeah.
uh, the emotional attitude issue and
Emotional and outcome issues. These three themes we were
yeah,
talking
the
about.
three. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Good, good. That's good.
Yeah, these are basically the three themes. Then it says
Uh,
researchers sought to describe how a worker first envisaged the change. Like in all these themes, what is how a worker imagine the change in his mind in a positive way or a negative way. Namely, the move to a private sector from public sector. Definitely they envisage change, they imagine, they feel the change when they move to a private sector from public sector before it was actively affected, and to identify most important issues and concerns of the employees regarding the effect of change from a government to a private company in order that management could address them. Basically it is talking about the change process because of privatization, before and after privatization, the concerns regarding the effect of change from government to private company, private NWC, in order that management could address them. Basically it is also a suggestion for the management to address them, uh, how they can address when they have to make the different themes, that how the perception changed before and after. This is basically this passage is telling so many things regarding our analysis that we have been telling before also, and we will also discuss in later. Are
Okay.
you- yeah. And then says the study employed a qualitative method of research, gathering data using two things: questionnaire and in next he gives the examples of the questions that we ask. For example, how do you evaluate the environment at national water company, etc. And next it will also talk about the interviews. Then it's saying about the dates in between the data was collected. It, then it's talk about the population. Are you getting it? Like we are moving not too fast, I think. You are okay with this?
Yes, yes, go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Then it's talk about population. Here it is generally telling what is population. It's always
Yeah,
better, yeah, to
yeah.
yeah,
We can say population is a big circle, sample is a small one inside the one. We
exactly.
can, yeah, we can imagine this one.
Okay. Then he talk about brother sample, and like we discussed about the sample. It will talk about
Yes.
sample, giving some like references who have already explained the definition of sample, etc. This is according to some other researchers. They are telling about sampling. So
Hmm.
this is a convenience sampling, and like Rose 2005 and some other, they are actually giving or showing us the benefit of convenience sampling. Why convenience sampling? So the
Yeah, they will ask me why you choose convenience sample. Why? As
yeah.
as as you asked me before, you
Hmm.
asked me that why you use that sample.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
how I could answer.
Yeah, there are many reasons. First of all, we should know the definition of convenience sampling. First, you have to tell them, like Bryman 2006, he says convenience sampling is a popular in social research. So we are the social researchers. According to Bryman or Rose, convenience sampling give maximum acceptability and availability to the researcher. This is one thing. And if you want to interview some employees and employees of a big company, it is not convenient to go for random sampling. People are actually not willing to respond in such case. So convenience sampling gives you an opportunity to select the sample according to your own convenience, according to your
Yes.
own comfort. You call them, you take an appointment from your respondent, and then you go to ask them the question. This is a convenient way for the researcher. And why you went for this sampling, or what is the benefit, you can refer them Brayman 2016 or Rose 2005. They also uh, you know uh, emphasize the importance of convenience sampling in social researches like this. So that's why I followed Ross, I followed Bryman method of convenience sampling, and it worked well in my case. Are you getting the sense, brother?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And next, it's just saying about our we discussed a bit later before about the sample size, and then it's talk about the participants. Like you can read it by yourself, na, at this time because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's one not that يعني.
yeah, yeah, we will
Yeah.
have other sessions also, so don't worry.
Exclusion criteria. This is nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, so exclusion criteria, we exclude the use of convenience sampling was the most appropriate technique, and these, so you can read it easily. It will not be like a,
Yeah, yeah.
then
3.7.
yeah, method and data collection, brother. This is the most important. Like 70 to 80% questions will be asked from this 3.7 and onward. So if you give me, a time for break, I will say we can start from this 3.7 point tomorrow
Okay.
or in our next meeting.
Okay. No problem, brother. No problem.
Yeah, and it will
Uh,
be great if you read 3.7 and onward by your own self, and I'll be, I like if I ask you many questions tomorrow,
Yes.
and you answer me all the questions, and inshallah at the end I will try to suggest you more good answers in case if you are lacking some
Okay.
answers, so it
Okay.
will
So,
inshallah.
inshallah. So, I will read chapter 3 tonight
Exactly, yes, chapter
again.
3 again.
And what's about chapter 4? Do you like to read it or make it tomorrow?
I would like to make it tomorrow, but if you can read it, it will be good, brother.
Yes. Yes,
It
I
will
can.
it,
Yes, I can.
if you can read chapter 4 also, it will be good. It would be
Okay,
really
brother.
good. Yeah, because
Okay,
chapter
inshallah.
4 is basically the analysis, and I will also read it with you, and you will also read by yourself, so that I can ask many questions and you will be more
Yeah.
prepared.
Yes. Yes. So,
Yeah.
brother, when do you like tomorrow to have our session, inshallah?
Inshallah, I'll contact you afternoon, and we can decide any time when you are free, like afternoon, maybe at 12, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. I will contact you.
Actually,
Hmm.
tomorrow I will be totally free.
Hmm.
Anytime you wish.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, okay. Like even in the morning also.
Yeah, morning is fine. Is okay.
Okay, brother. When I get up, I'll have to make two or three little things. I have to manage them, and inshallah, then I'll contact you and we can.
Inshallah,
Yeah.
inshallah. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much, and
Yeah.
I'm so
Thank.
sorry to take your time.
No
And
problem. Thank you so
inshallah,
much for time.
inshallah, tomorrow you will get better than today, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. Thank you for your nice prayers, your
Thank you so
duas.
much. My prayer and my dua for you.
Thank you, brother Knife. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you.
Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.
Have a nice night, brother.
Have a nice night.
Assalamu
Salam.
alaikum.
Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum.